Hi friends, welcome to SS Technical Service on YouTube channel. Friends, from this chapter, today we'll learn what is an engine. The every part of engine will be described in details. So we'll start from engine block. An engine block is the structure which contains the cylinders and other parts of an internal combustion engine. In an early automotive engine, the engine block consisted of just the cylinder block to which a separate crankcase was attached. Modern engine blocks are typically have the crankcase integrated with the cylinder block as a single component. Engine block often also include elements such as coolant passages and oil galleries. Next one, the separate parts is number one is cylinder liner. Cylinder liners is a cylindrical part to be fitted into an engine block to form a cylinder. It is one of the most important functional parts to make up the interior of an engine. This is called cylinder liner or cylinder sleeve. Second part is the piston. A piston is a component of reciprocating engines, reciprocating pumps, gas compressors, hydraulic cylinders, and pneumatic cylinders, among other similar mechanisms. In an engine, its purpose to transfer force from expanding gas in the cylinder to the crankshaft via a piston rod and or a connecting rod. Another part is the main part is the another part is the crankshaft. The crankshaft is essentially the backbone of the internal combustion engine. The crankshaft is responsible for the proper operation of the engine and converting a linear motion to a rotational motion. Crankshaft should have very high fatigue strength and wear resistance to ensure long service life to smooth perform of the engine. The next one is connecting rod. Connecting rod, also called a conrod, is a part of a piston engine which connects the piston to the crankshaft together with the crank. The connecting rod converts the reciprocating motion of the piston into the rotation of the crankshaft. The connecting rod is required to transmit the compressive and the tensile forces from the piston and rotate at the both ends. The predecessor to the connecting rod is a mechanical linkage convert rotating motion into a reciprocating motion. Number 3. These are connecting rod bearings. It's called shell bearings. Connecting rod bearing provide rotating motion of the crank pin with the connecting rod which transmits cycling loads applied to the piston. Connecting rod bearings are mounted in the big end of the connecting rod. A bearing consists of two parts, commonly are interchangeable. This is the piston and this shows the top view of the piston. There are embossed markings are there. So number 1 is mentioned the dimension or the diameter of the piston. Number 2, it is called combustion chamber where the fuel ignites when piston at the compression stroke. It burns fuel and air mixture at the compression stroke. And number 3, there is the position of the piston mark. So this mark should be always maintained at the front side of the engine. So friends, for our assemble, check physically inserting piston without rings in cylinder for specific tolerance. Maintain front mark in proper sequence. Follow similar process for piston ring fitment. Top mark is printed on every ring. These are the piston rings. The piston rings, setting the correct ring gap on piston rings is crucial for proper performance and engine longevity. Piston rings need to be expanded to fit over the diameter of the piston in the ring grooves. It has to be split in some way in order to allow installation in proper sequence. The sequence is already shown in this slide. Number 1 is the compression ring, number 2 is oil wiper ring, and number 3 is oil ring, which is for lubrication. The piston rings act to carry heat away from the hot piston into the cooled cylinder wall or block of the engine. Heat energy flows from the piston groove into the piston ring and then into the cylinder wall, where it eventually will be transferred into the engine coolant. These another parts are: number 1 is flywheel. Heavy flywheel attached to a rotating shaft, spinning crankshaft, so as to smooth out of delivery power from a motor or engine to a machine. The inertia of the flywheel opposes and moderates fluctuations in the speed of the engine and stores the excess energy for intermediate use. This is the important part, that's called oil pump. The oil pump in an internal combustion engine circulates engine oil under pressure to the rotating bearings, the sliding pistons, and the camshaft of the engine. Number 3. This is called camshaft. The camshaft is powered by the gear or belt drive from the crankshaft. The belt is called as the timing belt, being driven by the camshaft. Depending on the alignment of the camshaft in the engine corresponding to the valves. The engine is also classified on the basis of single overhead camshaft or double or dual overhead camshafts. I hope this detailed explanation helps you gain more knowledge in this topic. Another main part of the engine, this is called the cylinder head. It is bare without wall springs, wall seat, wall guides. So in an internal combustion engine, the cylinder head sits above the cylinders on top of the cylinder block. In most of the engines, the head also provides space for the passages that feed air and fuel to the cylinder and that allows the exhaust to escape. A cylinder head is usually located on the top of the engine block. It serves as the housing for components such as the intake and exhaust valves, spring and lifters, and the combustion chamber. Head gasket. The head gasket is compressed between the engine block and the cylinder head. The head gasket seals in the internal combustion process and also keeps coolant and oil from mixing together as the two fluids travel from the engine block to the cylinder head. Friends, there are so many various parts are there, just like a rocker arm, valves, push rod, and the settings of the uh, engine wall and firing motors. All the details of the entire system will be shown in the next slide. So, to gain and to learn from this topic, I think it will more essential and it will provide to develop your skill for the automobile mechanic trades. So friends, so stay tuned and understand all the technical information by watching videos. If you like, please share it. Thank you very much. Have a nice time.